Hey everyone, I'm Sho, longtime recruiter and hiring coach, and I answer questions on Reddit. This one's a long one, so let's dive right into it. So this one comes from Big Hanzo about 21 hours ago, and he asked, what's the most professional way to decline a job in working conditions? Here she goes through a lot of changes that are going on starting January 2024 with their current employer. And so I'm going to kind of unpack it one by one. First thing, so they are going to be back in the office January 1st. Second, working hours updated from 9 to 5 to 8 to 6, so working more hours a day. 3, vacation plans need to be manager approved, and no camping somewhere with no service. And we need to have at least one day where they will be on call. 4th, cell phones are being issued and they will need to always have the phones on them between 6 to 9 p.m. weekdays and 8 to 6 on weekends. We also need to put any after work and weekend plans on our calendars for our managers to approve. One of my coworkers has a regular schedule exercise class from 5:30 to 7:30, and he was told that he needs to cancel it. Holy Okay, well, first off, a lot of these things, or I should say some of these things were in place before the pandemic. It seems like some of the changes are just the company reverting back to what they were doing before the pandemic started. And so my guess is, being back in the office January 1st, if you started with the company after they were work from home and that was kind of your expectation, then I totally get the pain point. I also understand that, I work from home and it is a huge blessing. Like, it's just so much better for my family life. But that said, if a company wants you to be back in the office and you're their employee, like, you have to kind of abide by their rules. Second is the working hours updated from 9 to 5 to 8 to 6. That is, I wonder about that one, because are they going to keep it as 5-day, like Monday through Friday, or is it going to be more of like a 4-day work day and they're just lengthening the hours each day? Because if that's the case, like, shoot, I'm all for that. But if they're keeping the Monday through Friday but lengthening the hours, they would legally have to give you some sort of PTO if you're going over 40 hours. Unless you're salary, and if you're salary, they can't dictate what hours you work. So that's a fun fact for you. The other thing is vacation plans need to be manager approved. Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. They should all be manager approved. Now, the fact that they are trying to dictate where you can go and what you can do while you're taking your time off, that is something that they can't legally do. Now, they can ask you to be on call periodically. But in order for them to do that, they do need to incentivize that through monetary ways. And then 4th, cell phones are being issued. Well, if it's a company cell phone, I know that there's a lot of tech companies out there that actually will give you a kind of a reimbursement or a stipend towards your cell phone plan. And that's totally appropriate. If you're going to be using that phone for work, they should either give you a company phone or give you some sort of stipend. Now, where it gets kind of fishy is the fact that they are trying to dictate when you have to have the phone on you outside of normal working hours, 6 to 9 p.m. on the weekdays, as well as 8 to 6 on the weekends. Like, you have to have it on you all weekend. If you're not a weekend working employee, then there's no reason for you to have your work phone on you. Like, you should be able to turn that off and not worry about work until that Monday. Now, I do understand that if you are a portfolio leader or you own a portfolio, that may be a little bit different. There are times where, as a recruiter, I own my own portfolio and I choose to work on the weekends to make sure that my candidates are taken care of, my hiring managers are taken care of, things like that. But there is no legal obligation. If you are not getting paid on the weekend, then you do not have to have your phone on you. The rest of this person's comment just kind of goes over, there's no pay raise coming with these changes. They are FTE. Okay, so they are salary. Everyone else on their team is grumbling a bit, but accepting it. I don't see myself doing well under the new working conditions, and it definitely isn't worth it for no raise. What would a good way to tell my manager that I'm planning on not participating? I don't want to appear like I'm expecting special treatment or throwing a fit. Would it be really unprofessional to just quit December 31st? Thanks for your help. Well, I think it kind of depends because, there's someone that I know who recently had a child, and the company that they worked for just went back to a 3-day in-office work week where, they're in office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but they only have daycare Tuesday and Thursday. And so this person that I know went back to their manager, and they have a really great relationship with their manager. They're also the highest performer, and so I think a lot can happen if you are a top performer. They went back and asked for a special exception where they could keep coming back or they could go into the office Tuesday and Thursday but not Wednesday due to daycare. And the director actually took it back to the senior C-suite executive and got the approval. And so again, a lot depends on if you're a high performer or not. Like if this person has a great relationship with their manager and they're a high performer, there's no reason why they shouldn't feel comfortable going back and asking, hey, is there any way that I can get an exception from A, B, or C? The worst that they can say is no. And then at that point, my biggest recommendation would be to act like you're for it and say, okay, I totally get it. I just wanted to ask. And then, if you want to look for another position, But at that point, I would not let your manager know or give them a heads up that you are looking for another opportunity. Just because that can get a little hazy where, if other people find out, if your manager's manager finds out, they could potentially make your life harder. I'm not saying that they would do that, but there's always that risk and that potential. So looking at some of the comments, let's see. Yeah, some of the people, they definitely agree with me as far as like, how do you tell your manager? A lot of people are leaning towards say nothing, just walk out. This person says say nothing, find a new job. They've given you 14 weeks notice. If you're still there January 1st due to market conditions, then you have a decision to make at that time. Yep, totally get it. This person says, essentially put this on your calendar, 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. colonoscopy appointment every effing night. That's hilarious. Wow, this person has a very different problem. This person says, my manager's having dental work done with anesthesia next week, and he's only taking the afternoon off. That is some dedication right there. But other managers on the team still gave him such a hard time when he mentioned that in a meeting, like asking if he really couldn't move the appointment and who's supposed to stand in as manager for those 4 hours. And what if we need to sign a document while he's recovering? Good hell. Give me a break. He just got out of surgery. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. Last one here. This place is toxic as This is how I imagine hell. Okay. Alright, one more. Wow. Not okay. LMAO. That's hilarious. Man, a lot of people curse on here, but I guess I curse, so it's okay. Anyways, if you're going through a similar situation, hopefully those tips were helpful. I know I kind of rambled, but that's just how I talk, and you can either deal with it or you can scram. Stick around for more Reddit videos, and I'll be back next time.